What is up, guys? Back after a 2-week hiatus. Um, there was no point to review those last two Raws, the Christmas Eve one and the New Year's Eve one. There was no point in reviewing either of those shows. Those shows were both throwaway shows. It felt like a waste of time watching it. It would have been a much bigger time watching it, having to take notes and remember stuff and have to review it. That would have pushed me over the edge. But The Rock was back tonight. I was back tonight. Let's talk about it. The show starts off with John Cena coming out talking about the Rumble, how he's in it. Obviously, I love how they're acting like it's a big deal. I'm gonna be in the Royal Rumble. Like, obviously you're gonna be in the Royal Rumble. Like, Cena's just gonna not be in it. It doesn't make any sense. But so while he's talking about that, all of a sudden Dolph and the crew come out. You know, him, Big E, and AJ. And they start. All of a sudden, AJ starts making weenie jokes, as John Cena put it. So John Cena celebrates the weenie joke by making the crowd do the wave. Bringing up the weenie joke, whatever. So they make him do the wave. All of a sudden, Dolph's like, I'm in the Rumble too. And I'm like, oh, good. Ooh, didn't see that coming. I'm glad that everyone's in the Rumble. And Cena's like, listen, I'm done talking. Come down here. Let's fight right now. Dolph's saying no. Big E Langston ends up accepting the challenge for Dolph. So they end up having the match of Cena versus Dolph. It was a really good match, though, to start it off with. Dolph was on his game. But, towards the end of this match, Big E, after the ref's down, ends up taking out Cena, puts Dolph on top of him. Of course, Cena still kicks out, and Cena ends up hitting the Attitude Adjustment and getting the win. So, obviously, 2013, nothing will change when it comes to John Cena. He is still going to win all the time. So that was really the end of that segment. Then we get Eve versus Caitlyn. Eve just left during the match, so Caitlyn won by count out or whatever, I think, but it's whatever. So this Raw up until the TLC match, no, not happening. But then you get backstage, Santino, Ricky Steamboat, and I'm kind of sick, so that's why I'm sounding kind of weird, but get over it. I'm just kidding. But you got Santino, Ricky Steamboat, and Barrett backstage, and they're talking. Santino and Steamboat are a little buddy. And then Wade Barrett, calls them, the group of the has-been and the never was. Steamboat's like, listen, I'm going to be in your corner tonight, Santino, because obviously they had a match later, so he's got Ricky. Then you got Orton backstage. He already announced he's going to be in the Rumble, but he talks about that more. I'm like, oh, more guys. 3MB rolls up, and he basically talks about, Slater's like, which one do you want to face? The guitarist, whatever. And he says he'll face Slater. And after tonight, Heath Slater will not be playing the air guitar. He will play in the harp. Oh, Randall, you never cease to amaze me. And then we get Team Hell No versus Rhodes Scholars, non-title match. It was a pretty good match. These are the two best tag teams they have going right now, obviously. So, it was a good match to see. Will be a title match the next time. Because the Rhodes Scholars got the win, Daniel Bryan ended up hurting his leg after a backflip off the rope. Cody ended up hitting Crossroads and getting the pin. So, like I said, they will get a title match at some point. Maybe at the Rumble, maybe, before, maybe after. We don't know. But they do get the win in a good match. Then we get Randy Orton versus Heath Slater. And he hits the RKO and gets the win. I know, right? And then the other two members of 3MB jump in, and they try to jump Randy Orton. They have obviously never watched an episode of Raw. Jinder and Drew McIntyre both catch RKOs. Have a good night. RKOs aplenty. And then we got the Wade Barrett versus Santino match. Barrett wins with the bullhammer. No surprise here, and gladly so. Ricky Steamboat ends up, Barrett gets back in the ring, acting like he's going to hit the elbow on Steamboat, and Steamboat's not having it. He stares him down. Barrett leaves. So are they setting up something there? I don't know. They have to be, or else it makes absolutely no sense. But then again, what does nowadays? Then you got pretty much the same thing with Orton. Sheamus backstage, same spot pretty much, and then 3MB rolls up, and then he wants to fight him, so they announce that they will fight. I'm like, this makes no goddamn sense. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, I'm kidding you. This show was horrible until the TLC match. I'm just telling you. That's why I'm speeding through this stuff. But then we get Cesaro versus the Great Khali. This match did have a cool moment though. It was a call. You know, you can't. It's hard to have a good match with the Great Khali involved, but it was whatever. But at the end, Cesaro hit the equalizer on the Great Khali. That was a moment. That was pretty cool. You know, he's a strong dude. I'm starting to like Cesaro a lot more. I mean, I've liked him for a while now. I wasn't so sure when he first debuted. He needs a new gimmick, mostly because they don't even mention it anymore. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they're trying to steer away from it. We can only hope. But he does hit the equalizer and gets the win, so that was awesome. Then you go backstage with Paul Heyman and Brad the Maddox. And they're talking, and Maddox is like, listen, I just want a job. And Heyman's like, no, get out of my life. And this is awesome. And then Maddox is like, but I was thinking about pitching my name to be the ref for the TLC match coming up. And he's like, no, just go away. Don't be stupid. So then they leave, whatever. Then we get Sheamus versus 3MB. I turned the channel, and I went to the BCS game for a minute, which is a blowout. But I don't know if he ended up fighting all three. All I know is he ended up pinning Jinder after a bro kick by the time I turned it back. If you want to hear about this match, I'm sorry. You need to get your priorities straight, but I didn't watch it. But Sheamus got the win. Whether it was against all three or just Jinder, I don't know, but he won. Shocker. 3MB, damn you guys. Randy Orton, I love you, but you need to respect 3MB. This is not acceptable. Burying my three boys. And then the show finally got better. Ryback versus CM Punk in the TLC match, a really good match. You know, they were all going back and forth, chair shots. You know, Ryback threw a table, Punk threw a table. The announce table, they were going all over the place. They were hitting each other with the ladder. Punk straight up bent the ladder all crazy after he got thrown on it. But then, as Ryback's about to get the win, he's climbing. Slow as ever, but he was getting there. And he gets towards the top, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, there is no way. Boom, lights go out. First thing I think is, oh shit, the Undertaker? Is the Undertaker about to interrupt Ryback and set up WrestleMania? But no. Lights turn back on, it was the Shield. Thank you, the Shield. And they're taking out Ryback as he gets near the top of the ladder. They kind of get fought off, and it looks like, oh my gosh, Ryback's going to overcome everything. The new Cena, and he's going to do it, but he didn't. They end up getting the upper hand. They put him through a table outside with the triple powerbomb. Punk climbs up the ladder, and the way that the announcers, like, because normally when it gets to the end of a match, they just kind of, you know, do whatever, because usually it's only on false finishes where they, like, really hype up like crazy. And by the way they were talking, it really did seem like they were going to, you know, something was going to happen, because all of a sudden they get towards the top, and then was it Cole or Lawler? I don't remember, but I think it was. Oh, Cole. They just kept saying stuff like Lawler. Oh, nothing's gonna stop Punk now. Oh, it's all up there. And usually that's when, you know, music hits, something happens, but it didn't. Punk grabs it from behind his head and holds it. CM Punk proving that he doesn't even need to look. Because when you see some of these TLC matches or ladder matches, guys can't do it. They can't do it. CM Punk wasn't even looking. It's not that hard, guys. But so CM Punk wins. Thank you. He will go on to face The Rock at the Royal Rumble. Then you go backstage, and CM Punk basically says, hey, before The Rock comes out, I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to drop another pipe bomb. It's time. So you're like, okay, this could happen. And then you got Vicky Guerrero backstage with Team Hell No. And we got great news. It is their 4-month follow-up from everyone's boy, Dr. Shelby, next week. Aw, snap. So that'll be good. We get to see our boy, Dr. Shelby, again. They get their anger management checkup. That'll be hilarious, guaranteed. And then we get Big Show versus Kofi, for which reason I'm not quite sure. But Big Show knocks him out very quickly, and I had no problem with that, just because I was trying to get to the main event segment. So then Big Show, yeah, he knocks him out. They're talking about him and Del Rio or something, but I don't watch SmackDown. I will this week, though, because The Rock's going to be on it. But, excuse me. So we get to the main event segment. CM Punk ends up coming out first, and he basically just talks about how the fans don't matter. You guys are stupid. You guys are just little puppets. Why do you like the problem? Like, you guys are puppets or whatever. You guys are dumb, but the reason the fans are ridiculous is because they get to decide. Doesn't matter how good somebody is, it's whether the fans cheer them or not or whatever. And he goes in like, why do you think a guy like Cena has the worst year of his career and still gets title shot after title shot after title shot after title shot? Because all the little kids, whatever, you guys all love him or whatever. And he's like, why does Brodus Clay come out here and hang out with all the little kids just to get TV time? And then of course he does the why does Why does an imaginary kid like little Jimmy has better positioning than someone like Tyson Kidd? I don't give a shit about Tyson Kidd, but of course all the Tyson Kidd, like, you guys, oh yeah, we love Tyson Kidd, but when he comes out, we don't cheer and we don't give a shit, and we change the channel. But it's the same thing about the Zack Ryder. Everyone talks about they want Tyson Kidd pushed. If Tyson Kidd got pushed, they'd forget about it in 2 weeks and bitch about it. Like, get over yourself. And then tonight, it was breaking news. The heel turn of CM Punk became official. He took back the ice cream bar statement. And that pissed me off. No, I'm just kidding. But it was funny. It's like, he said that, and everyone's like, oh, no, like that was the bar. He can say all this stuff. He can fake a heart attack, but no, he took back that he wants ice cream bars, and that's over. Heel turn complete. But, he keeps talking about, he kept talking through the commercial, and I was like, okay, this is much better than, Cena, but, whatever. And then they come back, and he's still talking, and then The Rock comes out, and CM Punk, the good thing about CM Punk promos is, he tells the truth about everything. Like, he's not out there just, like, making crap up, but at the same time, again, I love you guys. I am an internet person, technically. I'm on the internet talking to you right now. I may not have the same views as most people on the internet as far as, like, I want technical this, technical that. But the thing is, CM Punk talks about how he tells the truth and everything, but when, like, Cena and Dolph, when Cena brought up the caddy gimmick and all the Spirit Squad thing, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Cena cannot cut a good promo, or Cena can't get a reaction without, like, breaking kayfabe and bringing up dumb shit. Well, CM Punk did that tonight. His whole promo was breaking kayfabe and breaking the fourth wall. So it's just like, okay, so when a guy you like does it, it's creative and innovative and awesome. But when Cena does it, it's, oh, that's so easy, anybody can do that. It just drives me crazy. But whatever. So The Rock comes out, and The Rock makes great points again. He's like, listen, CM Punk, you said you were going to bring change. You didn't. This is true. You were going to bring a revolution. He didn't. Remember back after that promo, we're all like, man, this is going to be sick. There's going to be so much new crap happening. Nothing happened, let's be honest. I love CM Punk. Nothing happened. And The Rock told CM Punk to get more tattoos on his ass so he can shove his boot up it or something. I was like, Rock, what are you talking about? But it's funny. It's like, it depends on what kind of promo you like. But CM Punk's promo was better than The Rock's tonight. The Rock was just cracking jokes or stuff, but The Rock is so damn over, and he's The Rock, that it doesn't matter. Like, he went crazy. Like, he's just sitting there like, oh, cookie puss, and the crowd goes apeshit. Starts trending on Twitter. The entire crowd is going nuts, and it's just wild. And I'm just like, oh, CM Punk, I do not think you know what you're up against. Sure, the internet's like, oh, CM Punk is way better than The Rock. Well, the crowd beg to differ. So, but I will tell you this. These promos, like, back and forth, are going to be much better than Rock Cena. CM Punk is way more, like, way more better. That sounds good. I can't think of the right word, but he's just, it's going to be so much better to hear, these promos back and forth than Cena. Like, I'm here. I don't like you. But whatever. So I look forward to this very much so. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure The Rock's going to be on every one leading up to it. I certainly hope so. But yeah, that was Raw, and it ends in a rock bottom. The way it should. And then they have a little stare down. So that was Raw. I'm looking forward to it. We're headed towards the Rumble. Rock versus CM Punk. It's official. Had it for a while. There it is over there. I'm ready for it. You're ready for it. Leave me your comments down below. Like this video down below. And subscribe down below. Like, whatever. And I will see you probably on Friday for a SmackDown review. That's what happens when The Rock comes back. Just saying.